Hey guys, Pat here from Rent Country. God is good all the time. And today I'm going to cut a 3/4 inch piece of horse mat. It's 3/4 of an inch, 4x8 sheet, and I'm going to cut it down the center to make it 2x8 sections. I got a couple of different methods that I'm going to try to use on this, and one is a utility knife and the other is a jigsaw. So I'm going to lay this out and mark it with a piece of soapstone and see how both compare with one another. So this thing's really heavy, and what I'm going to use this for is I have a little cat, a 450 case crawler. I guess it wouldn't be called a cat, it'd be called a dozer. And me and my son went down and are going to pick that up tomorrow. And so I thought this would help get the machine up on the beaver tail trailer that I have. Actually, I don't think this is 8 feet. So this mat is 6 feet long by 4 feet wide, not 8 feet, and it's very heavy, as rubber is. Well, for marking it, I'm going to lay it flat. It's a little more accurate for the readings, not that it's going to matter much. And Cody's supervising, of course. Hey, bud. First, I'll try the utility knife method. I got a good sharp blade on the jigsaw, and I got a good sharp blade on the utility knife. I know that cutting thinner rubber or even plastic, it's a good idea to try to bend it as you're scoring it. That way you have relief coming off of your cut, and so the rubber's not trying to close in and try to pinch the blade. So I have a couple of pieces of 2x2 here, and I will stick it underneath the mat. One half I'm going to try with the scoring method with the utility knife, and then the second half I'm going to try cutting with the jigsaw. Roll this back, put our 2x2s underneath the mat, and flip it back over. So what that does is it gives it a crown. So this is going to actually pull the cut away from the blade and actually help it to cut better. You might not be able to see it from the camera, but you see how I'm pushing down on this? That makes it flat. Well, having that crown in there, actually with each score, now that I have a deep enough groove, I can still follow that groove with the blade and not have to jump out of the groove. And with each pass, that crack gets just a little bit wider, and that's because I'm pulling that rubber. With these boards underneath here, it's causing the mat to stretch on top and a little compress on the bottom a little bit, so you have a little more workability here, and the rubber won't pinch against your blade. So So that's very effective and clean. So now I'm going to try the jigsaw with a coarse blade. It's got a coarse blade, a sharp blade, and a fairly low RPM. I think if you try to cut too fast of an RPM with the jigsaw, I believe that the rubber might start melting and cause issues with loading in your teeth here. So we're going to go ahead and give that a little bit of a try. Well, as you can see, both methods are very effective. One's a little cleaner than the other. One's a little more hazardous than the other. And I think you could probably guess which one's the most hazardous. Obviously, that's the utility knife. Risk your fingers by doing this. It helps to have something to protect your hand. So whenever I'm using a utility knife, I like to use a straight edge like a sheetrock square, but having something like this 4-foot level, you have your fingers behind something and this wide area right here for the knife to travel along, so you don't cut yourself. This is very effective. You want a nice sharp blade on there. I think having an aggressive blade like that as opposed to having a finer blade is the ticket. So if you guys have any horse stalls or anything like that, any of this thick matting to cut, there's a couple of solutions for getting the right size that you need. This mat here, hopefully, is going to work good for loading up a little 450 case crawler that I just purchased, and I got to go pick it up this weekend. So I'm hoping that the steel tracks on steel ramps of the trailer, putting this in between there is going to help it to climb the ramps a little bit better. I could weld little cleats on there on the ramp, but the ramps wouldn't slide as easy. So that's kind of a work in progress. What we do around here is we engineer on the fly. So hopefully this will be a solution to hopefully a non-issue. Anyway, whatever you need to cut 3/4 inch mat for, a couple of solutions here. Thanks for stopping by. Take care and God bless.